Well, hello. It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the week. So let's dive into it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, you're looking at a scene taken not too far from my house. So the yellow flower is canola. It's no longer in flower as I filmed this, but I liked the scene so well I thought, I gotta use it. And next week you'll get a flax scene. Because, again, not in flower anymore, but I gotta use it. So it's nice to have a wealth of those kind of pictures to use as titles. I'm starting to build up a library of them, where I will soon be having more titles than I can use, and that's okay. But anyway, and I'm also going to talk about in this video a little teeny bit about my trip to the Teddy Roosevelt Library, and I'm going to talk about my visit to... trying to remember. I'm going to talk a little bit about my trip to the Black Hills, because I had to have a checkup on my surgery, and I visited two spots down there. I visited the gold mine in Lead, which I hadn't done before, and I visited the Chapel of the Hills. So we'll talk about those and take a look at them, and we'll try to keep it under half an hour. So let's dive into it. Alright, so these are the pens I've been using this week. I've cut one out that was in the original description, so that's why there's 7, because I realized as I was setting this up, hey, this one belongs in a Pens in Use video that I was, or not a Pens in Use, but a pen video I was researching this week and didn't get the research done. So that pen is not here. So that's why there's 7 instead of the usual 8. But anyway, from left to right I have a Pelikan 400 NN, Senator Long Blind Cap, because I don't know its real name, but this is all blind cap, Aurora 98, Loft Winchester, Senator President Aurora Optima, and an Aurora DuoCart. Apologies if you hear that machine running in the background. It's triple-digit temperatures here in Fahrenheit. So, and it's 6 o'clock in the evening, so we're going to have an air conditioner going. Oh, and this is very overexposed paper. Let's just dial that down. Alright, as always, we'll be doing this writing sample in my Cognitive Surplus Theory notebook. So my first pen is this Pelikan 400 NN. This is a Pelikan from the 50s. One thing worth pointing out, Pelikan no longer makes this finish. They did up until a couple of years ago, but they quit. I think my microphone's too far away. Oh, shit. I'm okay. Go to move my microphone and I yank everything else off the desk. But anyway, they are no longer making this exact finish. I guess it cost too much because it's hard to tell while it's still somewhat full of ink, but the lines between the green... Ooh, now we're going to hunt? Seriously? The lines between the green are transparent, and they, I guess as a cost-saving measure, quit doing that. It was a controversial thing, too. And kind of surprised they did it, but I suppose they thought, oh, we can get away with it. So this is Atramentis. Violets. One of those scented inks. By the way, in my little hiatus while I've been not appearing on the channel for various reasons, I used up several different bottles of inks. Not this one yet, but I used up the red roses. I used up the Sailor Jentle Apricot. Used up something else too, but I can't remember what it was. But anyway, that means I have new inks up here to replace them. And in honor of the new finish, we'll do... Pretend the white parts are green. My next pen I call Senator Long Blind Cap because... just want to show you the cap. Because all of this is a blind cap. And there's a piston turning knob up here. So probably a good reason for it. That's how it is. But anyway, Senator. And I was sure... Oh, no, I'm right. I need to do a revisit to this pen. It's one of my Survivor pens. The ink in it is Herbin, J. Herbin, Bleu Myosotis. So this ink is getting low. It's not done yet, but it's low. I'm ready for it to be done. I'm ready to switch to a new blue. You know, this whole focusing on one ink till it runs out gets old. You just get bored with that ink and you're like, seriously, just end. But anyway, we'll do well, I guess it's a Levenger ink bottle. Yes, Levenger does make fountain pen ink. I used to have a bottle of, I think it was fur. But we'll leave it empty here in honor of the ink bottles I've emptied out. Then my next pen, because it should have been a Parker 25, but for reasons you'll see soon, hopefully this coming week, because I want to finish my research, but for reasons you're going to see soon, I don't have it here, because it really fits with the topic of that video. So I'm hopefully doing a video on converter cartridge compatibility in fountain pens. So this is not a cartridge converter pen. This is an Aurora 88. So this is the successor to the famous Aurora 88 that came out at the tail end of the Second World War. I remember what ink I used up now. It was my Lee de Tay. Because this is what I replaced it with. For better or for worse. Yuck. I don't like this color. I don't really know what made me buy it. Possibly is because I have a Homo sapiens, a Visconti Homo sapiens with the bronze finish, and I thought, oh, I should have a bronze ink to go with it. Ha 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 ha. Blech. I've got, some swampy looking colors. Like I've got Stipula Musk Green. It's very swampy looking, but yeah. Oh, there was a movie came out, I think, in the last couple of weeks that takes place in the Bronze Age. So, I have not seen the movie, so don't, if you're one of the people that doesn't like it, I do know how it ends because I've read the actual work that it's based on, but of course I'm talking about the Odyssey. But we'll do a Bronze Age sword. I don't have an opinion on it because I haven't seen it, so I'm allowed that. So with everything going on, and busiest June I've had in couple of years. I never did I always try to do a pride flag one of the weeks in June. And this year I could have done a Juneteenth, because Juneteenth was on a day I was going to have a video, but missed it all. So we'll pack them both into one with the black stripes and then this rainbow effect. And it's just a cool looking pen. I mean, this company, this is the most eye-catching, but I looked at several of their pens and I'm like, I want that one too, and that one, and that one. You know, some of them are these subtle versions of like a gold, and all different colors of gold going up and down, so very eye-catching pens. But anyway, I was probably on the road because, how much time did I spend in the car? So I had a trip to almost Fargo, plus a trip back. I had a trip to Valley City, plus a trip back. And 2 of those. So this is 12. This is 11 times 2, plus 22. Yeah, so I spent in June just sitting in the car 34 hours. So that's over a day. The last time I did this trip, the school paid for it, because it was a class they wanted me to take. And now, as it turns out, I didn't need to take it. So, there is that. But anyway, yeah, way too much time in a car. Plus a trip to Rapid City. Well, 2 trips to Rapid City. One for a surgery, one for the checkup. So that's 6 hours, because it's 3 hours each way. So that's another 12 hours. So, yeah, I'm carred out. I was supposed to take a class here at the end of this month. Next week, actually. I was so happy it got canceled. You won't believe how happy I was. I was like, yay, I can stay home. And it was going to be a long class, too. And it was going to be in Bismarck, which isn't as bad. That's about a trip to Rapid City. But still, that would put me at 52 hours of driving. And, you know, theoretically, the work week should be 40 hours. So, yeah, more than a work week's worth of driving. And I used to be able to listen to The Economist when I drove, which, you know, your mileage may vary on that, but my phone is now so old that the app does not work. So I can't even do that anymore. So this is my attempt at a car. I'm not even going to try to draw a Camry. But on a fun note, my car turned over 250,000 miles. So that's it's a 26-year-old Toyota Camry. So I'll try to remember to put that in metric for those of you not on this system, which is most of the world. But anyway, I am glad to be home, and gas prices are now shooting up like a rocket, so I guess it's good to be home. Alright, my next pen I'm going to do this way. I'm going to do it this way. What the heck? So this one is a Senator President, and it's from the Ukrainian Ministry of Coal. Ukraine has been in the news a bit lately. I don't know why autofocus isn't taking that. How about something sparkly? There we go. Fooled you. Anyway, Ukraine has been in the news quite a bit lately with some very impressive drone work. And one of the things it shows is warfare always changes. You can't be fighting the last war. I don't know why I didn't write the first time there. Now, I actually have two Senator Presidents. The other one has the steel nib. This one's the gold nib. But anyway, this has a broad nib in it. And the ink in it is Robert Oster. Okay, that explains why. I was going to say it was some kind of a green, but that was clearly not green. Summer Storm. We've been shy of storms here for a while, so my lawn is bright brown and very crispy. I'll probably do a garden update here one of these days soon. I'm doing some weeding right now, so maybe wait till that's done. But it's been a very disappointing year for gardens because cold spring meant that a lot of the seeds never came up. And then hot summer. So here's some dirt. Here's a seed, and nothing's happening. Alright, my penultimate pen is my Aurora Optima. This is one of those pens. This finish came out more recently from Aurora, and I just looked at it and said, yep, that's out of my budget. But then I found this one from Proto Pens, which was quite a bit more unique, and I jumped on it. This is whatever I'm doing, that's two pens in a row I did it with. So this is the Aurora Optima. I think it's a medium. Yeah, oh yeah, there's an M on the feed. Okay, we'll give it a medium. And the ink in it, this is the last time, because this is the pen that emptied it out, you're going to see Sailor Jentle Apricot. Now, I do like this ink. It's a nice, bright, happy color. But when it's done, it's done, and Sailor has discontinued this ink. So, some may say I was wasteful using it up, but you know what? Ink is meant to be used. And sometimes when they sit in the bottle, and I've had this happen too long, they grow fur or slimy things floating in them, and you don't want that. So let's draw a little mold spore. Let's draw another one. And another one. There we go. So we'll have a little mold forest there. The Last of Us. No, that's a cordyceps. Yes, I do know what The Last of Us is. It's a TV show. And yes, I have seen the first season. Not any of the other seasons. It's on my list, but I don't know, I don't do a lot of TV watching, so just haven't gotten around to it yet. Okay, this is my Aurora DuoCart. I can't remember why, but there was some comment that made me think of this pen. So here it is. Of course, I don't have the vintage DuoCart, but this is the re-release that they did. Now, I do have the re-release of the re-release, which I'm told they're different, but I haven't been able to figure out how. But anyway, this ink is one I didn't even know I had until I thought, oh, I used up my red roses. I need a different color. Red. And I found this. I just totally messed up my K, but we'll just keep going. Fermabuk. Right? I'm kind of scared I'll spell this wrong. Now, Ferma, I don't know if that has to do with iron, which might be why it's a red. I didn't look into why it has this name, but it's a very red. Now I'm wondering what I have as an orange to replace the Sailor Jentle apricots. I'll look here in a second. Don't know if this is related or not, but we'll go there. FE, what is it, number 26, I think? 56 point something. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. So those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. Yes, I need a haircut. And yes, you probably hear the air conditioner running because it is hot. It is now almost 7, and the temperature's finally dropped down into the double digits. And I mean 7 p.m., not 7 a.m., because it's not Arizona. But dropped down. We're still in the 90s. It's been a brutally hot day. I was out this morning, took my walk about 5:30 a.m. Then I had some insurance stuff I had to take care of around noon, so I walked downtown again, and it was really hot then. And I pretty much been hovering in the house since then. Oh, and this morning I did a lot of weeding in the garden. Got to do some more weeding tomorrow, but anyway, life goes on. And tomorrow my town is doing its car show. I don't know if that'll end up in a video or not. I've done it before, so I feel like maybe I just want to go enjoy it. Unless something cool happens, then I might do a video. But anyway, in other exciting news, I mentioned I went down to the Black Hills because my surgeon that took my wisdom teeth out is located in Rapid City. And, I could just go down and go to Rapid City and back. But I did more than that. I decided on the way, I'm going to stop at Lead because I love Lead. Lead is, if I had to move to the Black Hills, Lead is right up there in my list of places I would move to. My biggest objection to it is it's close to all the gambling in Deadwood, and I'm not a fan of gambling. But anyway, we don't need to go there tonight. But anyway, Lead actually is on the map because at one time it had the deepest gold mine anywhere in the world. So it went down about 8,000 feet. I'll try to put the metric version down there because I forgot to look all that up before the video, and I don't want to stop now. But it is now, that mine that goes down 8,000 feet is now the site of major particle research after the gold mine went out of business. So a lot of the old equipment was still there. So we didn't get to go into the gold mine. I didn't realize how it worked exactly. I kind of knew we wouldn't get to go in. But when we went to the gold mine, we got to see why you don't get to go in. Part of it is some of the research being done there is very, very hush-hush. But some of it has to be in a very controlled environment. And bonus, picture how you get your gold miners and your equipment down 8,000 feet and how you get them back up and how you get the gold back up. Well, they have these tremendously huge lifts with lots of cable. So what you're looking at here is the motor for one of those. It's very quiet. I thought it would be really loud, but it's super quiet. And it's an electric motor. It's built in 1939. And I showed a little view of the generator room. But yeah, it's an electric motor. And that's what moves people up and down, like 30, 40, 60 at a time. So that's why a little tour group like mine of, 12 people, doesn't go down. One of the reasons. They did mention some stuff about security. Apparently, how do you break into that? You can't. But they do deal with a lot of cybersecurity issues. So, interesting. Anyway, from there, I went down to Rapid City because that's where my appointment was. And it was in the early afternoon, so I could do one thing. I wanted to do 2 things in Lead, but the tour just took too long, and the museum to go with it, which I didn't show you. But I'd read about, just this spring, a replica chapel of one that had been built in the 1100s in Norway. And so they did a replica of it in Rapid City in the 1960s. So I will walk around this here. I decided it was not enough video to do a separate video, but I'll walk around it. I'll add the narration as I put in the footage. And, but very cool. And then there was a prayer walk and stuff, you know, if you're into that kind of thing, which I'm not. I mean, nothing against religion. I just, the prayer walk, I don't get that. Whatever. Oh, sorry, I thought it was later than it is. My clock is at an angle and I can only see the 7 and the 4. I thought, oh shoot, it's 7:40. I got to turn on the water at 7 o'clock. And, you know, if I'm 5-10 minutes late, who cares? If I'm an hour late, then I got to stay up an hour late tonight to finish it.
There's this little walkway all around.
Somebody lost a card.
Let's take it up to front. Up front, so she's right here.
But anyway, that was the chapel in the hills. And then from there, I went to the dentist. Nothing bad. And from the dentist, I looked at the map and saw hey, Rapid City has a Barnes & Noble. Now, I prefer to support local bookstores, but I do like the occasional Barnes & Noble trip. So I had to go there and spend too much money. And then the next week, no, it was the same week. It was Friday of the same week. I had to go to Dickinson for some work on my car, because that's where the Toyota dealer is. And while I was up there, I decided, why don't I go over to the Teddy Roosevelt Presidential Museum in Medora? Because I live very close to Medora, without giving away my town, but most of you know where it is anyway. Small towns and everything. I live in southwest North Dakota. I wonder what town that is. But anyway, went to Medora, and I do have some footage of it. I think I'm going to make it into its own video. Well, it's not going to be here, so it's going to be its own video. But I will just say this. Very much worth seeing. If you ever get to North Dakota, put the Teddy Roosevelt Museum on your list of things to see. It's interactive. You can see, as I've been talking here, there have been pictures of me dressed in a sort of Teddy Roosevelt-esque way. I think he's a little more athletic than I am, but you know, they take your picture at the beginning and then they use AI to put you in all these different settings. But the real thing is you get to experience like being around a campfire, riding the train as your Teddy Roosevelt. Sorry, this one, the next room really does it for me. You're riding a train as your Teddy Roosevelt coming from Albany back to New York City, knowing that your mother and your wife are dying. And then from there you walk. Yeah, I'll admit, this one got me. You walk into a totally black room, and the only light in it is this glass case in the middle, and it has his diary. And it's illuminated, of course. And you see in his writing, the light has gone out of my life. So, sorry, this isn't me. I don't usually get emotional like that, but that one really did it for me. But then you get to see San Juan Hill, his time in the White House, his time after the White House. There's a huge exhibit hall full of all kinds of artifacts, anything you could imagine. I'm forgetting. Oh, yeah, his time in Medora, because you walk from the Black Room into Medora, into a replica of the cabin he stayed in. And, fun fact, for many years, and I've been meaning to take you there, the actual cabin he stayed in is in Medora, at the entrance to the national park. So that's also worth seeing, because it's much less over-edited and over-prepared than a lot of the stuff you'll see at the museum. So, as I was editing, I just decided to leave in the natural sounds of the Chapel of the Hills. It's kind of cool. There's a little like tunnel around it you can walk through. And then when I was talking about Teddy Roosevelt Museum, I ended up going on and on about it. And I'm just going to take that out because, like I said, I'm going to do a video about it. So we'll just jump to the end here. And it's right there by the musical if you're into musicals. But the road video you're going to see is, I'll have to decide which one's better, but it's going to be the road either up to the museum or down from the museum, because it might be the steepest road in North Dakota. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching, and look forward next week to hopefully my compatibility of cartridges and converters in fountain pens. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, what's cool where you live? Because I keep talking about the cool stuff where I live. So let us know down in the comments. So I want to thank you for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.